Okay, so this is something that I wanted to react to, but I forgot. And I want to see what you guys think about this. So somebody posted on my community Discord the game Atomic Heart. So let's watch Atomic Heart first, the trailer, if you didn't see it. Yeah, so it's the Russian game. Let me show you the trailer first, and then there's a video that I saw about the game and why you shouldn't buy it. And I want to see your thoughts. I'm going to share my thoughts, but I want to see your thoughts. Like, what do you guys think? Because honestly, I'm trying to figure out not only my community, but like where the like you guys, but like where is the world going right now? And I'm like, every now and then I keep on finding myself in like weird situations that like I'm not sure that like I should talk about some certain things, if I should joke about certain things, and I'm like really frustrated because of it. Because, for example, like you saw what happened with Hogwarts Legacy and like the LGBTQ plus community that attacked everyone that was streaming it, and it was fucking annoying and amazing. They actually like made a website where you could report the streamers that are streaming the game, and some of them cried. Most of them just stopped streaming the game because it just like became frustrating. So similar thing is happening with this. So apparently it's a game that is set in the 80s, something like that. Atomic Heart will launch on February 21st. Oh, okay. In 4 days from now. I didn't know about that. There's a gameplay overview, right? Sure. So the game is set in like 80s, 70s, 80s, whatever. After like Soviets won the war, like the World War II, and then they had like some serious like AI and like it's futuristic. It's like a parallel fucking universe, basically. So what's the story? What's the premise? So the devs say the story is a bit like an episode of Black Mirror. If the show were set in a warped version of the Soviet Union somewhere in between the 30s and the 60s, as Mandesh CEO Robert Bagratuni told IGN, the USSR still exists in this reality, but a technical revolution has already taken place. Robots, the internet, holograms have already been invented. All these innovations are submerged in the atmosphere of communism. Confrontation with the imperialism of the West and all the other inherent political and social aspects of the time. So that's why it's weird as fuck. So let's check this out for a second. Yeah, I think somebody posted this. Yeah, somebody posted this.
A new cinematic and explosive action RPG. Discover details of the amazing and intricate world created for the game.
See, it's not just like Serious Sam. Flying fucking cars.
Atomic Heart's setting is a fictional USSR of 1955. In a top-secret military base built to manufacture robots, known as Facility 3826. The mastermind behind this facility is a brilliant scientist by the name of Dmitry Sechenov, who pioneered a special liquid substance called polymer in 1936.
Yeah, the water is really good, honestly.
Expanding on the formidable qualities of his invention, Sechenov managed to launch a huge neural network of AI assistant robots called Collective. This allowed robots to free the people from manual labor in favor of arts and science. Everything goes smoothly until 1955, when authorities planned to launch Collective 2.0 and introduce a new thought device, allowing humans to control the network and issue commands with just the power of thought. Unfortunately, the launch of Collective 2.0 is sabotaged, leading to a technological nightmare. Robots attack humans, with hundreds of casualties among facility staff. You are Major P3, an elite soldier from the intelligence service. You are sent by Sechenov to investigate the circumstances of the incident and restore the neural network.
The fucking environments are
Your
amazing.
mission will take you across
Hopefully,
the
it's not gonna get downgraded for like the live release.
testing grounds of Facility 3826, which spreads like a fungal network throughout the Kazakh mountains. As you roam the base, you'll come across expansive scientific complexes, mysterious laboratories, above-ground civilian infrastructure, and discover bizarre underground tunnels packed with spatial puzzles that even the most experienced players will enjoy. One thing you can expect is to never know what to expect, be it horror, arenas, puzzles, or a plot twist with cinematic cutscenes.
Put pressure on this wound. They tried to save you.
Why the hell should I believe any of this?
You should be more careful. This place is a damn madhouse.
You're going to Chalamet.
The hell are you?
I've got eyes and ears everywhere, sweet cheeks.
There's blood all over the place.
You really didn't tell her anything, did you?
I never expected to see Victor like this, in these circumstances.
Human casualties.
And he has to be stopped!
Poor bastards. What the fuck happened here? Who the fuck did this?
Am I making myself clear? Comrade Sechenov.
But you won't be traveling alone. Here is Charles, a polymer AI integrated into your experimental power
So
glove.
this is enough for you guys to like see what the game is about. Like, it's basically Fallout, but it's not Fallout. It's also BioShock, but it's not BioShock. Atomic Heart, you saw what it is. I'm gonna link the video to you if you guys want to see it whole. But there's a video that I just saw like today. Please don't buy Atomic Heart. And this reminded me 1.7 million views 11 days ago from a guy that like probably didn't have 9,000 subscribers before he posted this video. Actually, you know what? Let's check him on Social Blade before we start. And this is not a bash at him.
Attention.
This is just like me trying to see how many actual subscribers he had before. So he had 6,000% in the last 30 days. So 4.8 thousand subscribers subscribed to him because of this video, right? So shit's popping. And that's pretty good. I'm happy for him. Just so you understand why I'm saying this. It looks fantastic. Yeah, the game itself, to me, like the video that I just showed you, looks fantastic. But then this guy makes this video, and I want to like debate with you guys if I'm crazy or what am I? So let me play the video.
Today is August 9th, 1945. The US drops 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, turning the cities to dust and ending the lives of more than 200,000 people, shortly after which Japan surrenders. In celebration, the US government creates and publishes a tabletop board game called Nuclear Love, themed according to the operation performed. It was made for 2 players, where one would be playing on the side of the US and the other would be playing as Japan. The game features dice that look like miniature atomic bombs, and the person who manages to bomb the other's city capital first wins. By rules of the game, however, the US side would always have the first turn, which brought natural advantage, and the board game, despite the patriotism and popularity, failed on the market. Sounds like a rather unethical piece of military propaganda that nullifies the tragedies, right? That's because Nuclear Love never existed and I just made it up. But there is a similar situation that does exist that follows this formula, and it is about to be released, and its name is Atomic Heart. I want to preface the video by saying that if you're the type of person that is still going to buy and play something like Hogwarts Legacy despite its infamy, you might as well click off, as I'm going to explain why it's a bad idea to purchase and play Atomic Heart.
Now, this is an issue for me. Let me share you my thoughts on the Hogwarts Legacy drama. J.K. Rowling, I'm not a fan of Harry Potter at all. I saw one movie, I fell asleep, and that's it. It's not my thing, honestly. But it's a game made by developers that wanted to make a great fucking game, right? And J.K. Rowling said something that I didn't really see like insulting as some people want to make it. Sure, I guess everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a right to get offended, right? But attacking streamers for playing that game and attacking the developers and trying to basically destroy the game on its launch date, the game, like, J.K. Rowling had nothing to do with the game. It's just like set in the Harry Potter universe. It's in Hogwarts, and that's it. We all like it's fucking pop culture. Even I don't like Harry Potter. Even I know some like references. I know what Hogwarts is. I know Gimli. I think maybe that's Lord of the Rings. It doesn't matter. But if I wanted to play the game, why wouldn't I play the game? It's not supporting her or the shit that she said that's against like the LGBTQ plus community. So I really don't understand this, and I don't know if you guys like agree with me or disagree with me, but yeah, sure. Let's proceed.
Go on, you have a Joe Rogan podcast to catch up on, or play Call of Duty or something, I don't know. Off you go. Being Ukrainian myself, I'm making this video to spread awareness, so even if 100 people see this, I'm satisfied. Even if one person cancels their pre-order because of this video, I'm satisfied. I will be turning monetization on for this video.
Now again, I made a video that got demonetized immediately, and some people unsubscribed, a lot of people unsubscribed from my channel. Some people unsubscribe from my Patreon because of me saying that the Russians are aggressors in the war, and I'm against all aggression. I'm against all the like killing and all of that. It's not up to me to be fucking against that, but I just wanted to, because I'm a kid from since I was born. There were like 4 wars in my country, so I had to save something. I had my own war stories and war experiences, and I don't wish that like mine ones are like they were mild compared to what's happening in Ukraine or Syria or whatever, but still I don't wish that upon any human being or any being in the world. But still, it's a game. Like, what does this have to do with anything else? But let's continue.
If possible, and all revenue from this
So I'm
video
saying this because I'm probably going to post this on YouTube, on my second channel, and I don't want like people to attack me like that I'm like pro-Russian or I'm like supporting Russians and their like aggression on Ukraine. I'm not.
We're going straight to local Ukrainian charities. But let's start with the basics. What is Atomic Heart? Atomic Heart is a video game set to be released on February 21st, 2023 that is positioned by the developers as BioShock in the USSR.
Exactly, Jack. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Yeah, she's gonna get royalties, but the cancellation is too much. Yeah.
It describes the events of the alternative history of the 50s, where the Soviet Union emerged from the Second World War scientifically and technologically advanced, reaching the peak of development with cold nuclear fusion and intelligent robots. You play as Mayor Nechayev, who is a KGB major and an officer in special assignments. So far, the game has been universally appraised, earning top spots in oncoming games lists on sites like PC Gamer, IGN, and Gamescom. But let's see who is really behind it. The game is developed by a Russian studio called Montfish. On the website of the studio, there is currently no mention of the fact that this is a Russian game dev. The story of the company begins with its launch in 2017 by a team of 4 like-minded gaming enthusiasts in Cyprus.
Founded in 2017 by a team of 4 like-minded gaming enthusiasts, Montfish, never heard of him, is a video game development studio headquartered in Cyprus. Montfish is led by a talented global team focused on creating an original, captivating, and unique gaming experience with their first title, Atomic Heart. Blah, blah, blah. I saw Serbia here. 130 people that are working on the game. Poland, Ukraine, Austria, Georgia, Israel, Armenia, United Arab Emirates. I don't know how you pronounce that in English. Serbia, my home country. Cyprus. Sure.
At the same time, the studio was mentioned as a Russian one with an office in Moscow in Russian gaming and IT media articles. In 2019, there was even a report from the Moscow office of the studio. And after the events of 2022, the company completely ostracized itself from being known as a strictly Russian company and is now presenting itself as international, which in terms of their history of office,
so they can boost their sales
and offshore,
because they don't want their fucking game to like die on release.
Means half Cyprus, half
because of that.
Armenian, half Singapore, and whatever the hell else, just to avoid sanctions and negative spotlight. So, now that we've established that this is actually a Russian
because they worked on this for fucking years
studio, what is their opinion on the war going on? What could be their stance on this tragic matter that could save and keep their public
We're gonna talk about that, Jack, in a second.
Tank the sales. Let's read out loud together. Guys, we have noted the questions surrounding where we at Montfish stand. We want to assure you that Montfish is a developer and studio with a global team focused on an innovative game and is undeniably a pro-peace organization against violence against people. We do not
honestly? Pro-peace organization against violence against people. What is so bad about that?
Against violence against people. We do not comment on politics or religion. Rest assured, we're a global team focused. Hold on, stop.
No. We're a global team focused on getting Atomic Heart into the hands of gamers everywhere. We do not comment on politics or religion. Why would they? They're a gaming company. They're like, that's not the point of. Why would they even talk about that?
Team focused. Hold on, stop. We do not comment on politics? You're making a game that's sole idea is USSR renewal and communism.
Is it though? It's a parallel universe, dude. Like I haven't played the fucking game. I don't know what the game is like. I'm not a fan already, but from what I know, this is not what the game is gonna be.
You're making a game that's sole idea is USSR renewal and communism. You classified your game as inspired by Bioshock and Prey.
It's an alternate history, yeah. It's like saying that The Man in the High Castle is a political series because of the fucking alternate history.
Yet you go the no politics in
like
my
Fallout,
video
yes.
game route? This is one step away from the types of gamers who say, I don't like politics in my video game, and then immediately open up Fallout. What absolute nonsense.
What's wrong with
After
Fallout,
their
dude?
response to criticism regarding that tweet was simply to ban people.
Wait, is Fallout now a problem?
Absolute nonsense. After that, their response to criticism regarding that tweet was simply to ban people.
Violence against which people exactly, can't even say it. This is the response to folks asking them if they took money from the Russian government and its entities sanctioned for their role in the Russia-Ukrainian war, calling them spammers. See, the issue here is if they are really, like, I can tell you this from like a guy that lives in Serbia. So Serbia is like softcore Russia, basically, at this point. And if you want to succeed in Serbia, you need to be like in the party, in the leading party. If not, you got to mind your own business and not like intervene in whatever they're doing. So that's like softcore Russia. But hardcore Russia or Russia would be just fucking don't intervene. And like, if you want to do your own business, if you want to succeed in your own business, just like pay your taxes, whatever, and shut up. Shut up about everything that we're doing to ourselves, to like with the foreign politics and all that. So asking them to like say that they're against the Russian, Russian invasion of Ukraine is already like stepping over the boundaries that are set by the fucking censorship in that country, in Russia, right? If they said that, that would be a huge issue for them. So they couldn't fucking say that. But what they could say is that they're against any aggression against any people, which is already like, it's already enough for like the pro-Russians and the government and all that to like attack them for that. But honestly, for me, being from Serbia, which was maybe free for a couple of years, and like the free thoughts and your opinion was like appreciated, I can say that I can relate with that. I basically got canceled. My music got canceled here in Serbia because of my thoughts, because I'm not for this government. And I was loud about it. And suddenly everybody that wanted to play my music on the radio had an issue with what are they called? The editors and like people that are above them. Like there were actual blacklists. So these guys worked probably for like 5 or more years on a game, and they want to fucking release it. Not only that it's their child, they of course want to make some money. So what?
The short end there. Now, let's look at the CEO of Montfish, whose name is...
What's the point in attacking people because of their government? Yeah, I mean, it's like people attacking me for being Serbian, and Serbia for a couple of months fucking supported Russia. Like officially supported Russia in the first months of the war, or the whatever.
Robert Bagratuni. Except that it isn't. His actual name is Maxim Zatsepin. Max previously had a position of a creative director / top manager in Mail.ru, which is now presented as VK, the biggest social media platform in Russia. It doesn't take much to figure out that a platform that is based in Russia, directed and controlled by Russia, and is used only by Russians will have a strict pro-Russian stance. But it doesn't end there. Meet Yevgenia Sidova. As the founder of Montfish, she's a former model and an owner of a modeling agency. She worked at New Media
This is a bit weird.
where she was in charge of the
This is where
graphics
it becomes weird.
That company is now in charge of various pro-Russian mass media, such as Zagля
Okay, so
company's agency.
she founded a company, she left the company, and now that company is working for the mass media.
She worked at New Media Stars, where she was in charge.
Oh no, she worked at. She didn't found it. She worked there.
New Media Stars, where she was in charge of the computer graphics department. That company is now in charge of various pro-Russian mass media,
But she worked there. She doesn't work there anymore.
such as Zaglyad.ru and
This is oligarch. Oligarch.
According
Kind
to
of
the
weird. Yeah.
employees of the company, all Montfish transactions and checks are on her behalf. Let's roll back the time a little bit. The game has been in development for quite a while, and by
Speaking of oligarchs, the only way that you can make it here in Serbia that isn't like being in a party, like having like an actual like a card that you're in the party, in the ruling party, would be to be like entangled in some like shitty stuff with some criminals. Like we have, for example, and I can speak about this freely because I don't care, and most of them are not even going to see this. But we have most of our music scene, popular music scene, is held basically by criminals, by known criminals. Some of them are even in prison right now, but they're like still working, right? You got to go there, knock on the door, and ask for some money, ask for some support, ask for some like somebody to hold, like, what's the word? Hold your back or whatever. And you're going to make it. They're going to invest some money in you, and they're going to like launder their money through you, and you might get something in return. Some of them, which I know, got like apartments in new buildings and all that as like payments for something. So that's how you make it here in Serbia. I'm pretty sure that like other countries are not like that, or it's maybe not that obvious, but here it is. It's the same with Russia, right?
by quite a while, I mean
even
at least
worse, probably
7 years, with his earliest trailers dating back to 2017. And the scene in 2017 and 2018 wasn't as smooth for them. Many people got interested and excited, but a lot of people were skeptical, the reason being a shady system of pre-orders. Let me paint you a picture. An unknown company posts a small teaser trailer of some generic assets and a description to cause hype was all of the effort to guide you to
They're
the
not generic
pre-order
assets,
page,
though, but
where
okay.
you would be met with a $60 base game, $90 pre-order for Gold Edition, and $100 for Premium.
But this is the issue with the pre-orders. Like, this is not an issue with them. This is the issue with, like, what has world become. People are pre-ordering the shit out of the games. People love pre-alphas. People love early accesses. They're gonna pre-order, they're gonna play and support early access games in whatever state they are. That's the issue with Star Citizen. That's the issue. Well, without that, Star Citizen wouldn't fucking exist, right? Without that, Squad wouldn't exist. Some of the games, I'm pretty sure that, like, even Call of Duty, which he mentioned, which I didn't play since, like, Modern Warfare 1 or 2, like the original from like 10 years back or even more. So people are pre-ordering those games, and those funds that, like, they get put into the game itself or whatever company, whatever, it doesn't matter. But the game wouldn't be that good, even though I don't like them anymore, if people didn't pre-order. I'm pretty sure.
Premium Edition. Mind you,
The lighting is amazing, yeah.
price tags, and there's exactly 2 minutes of badly made.
And also, yeah, that's how most
footage
gaming
with
companies
no
start
gameplay
out.
to serve as the video game's representation and marketing. What did not help was the fact that the game was being developed by a studio that no one has ever heard from before, being just born and publishing Atomic Heart as their first game, which
Well, let's talk about Star Citizen, as Motar said. It's a new company, 11 years ago. CEG, but it's also RSI. You buy the ships from RSI, not from CEG, which is all like already weird. There's like a referral link, which is weird, but okay, works, whatever. There is a game, you can play it. Now, you couldn't play it back then, but people invested into the game with the Kickstarter. It was the same with Squad. It was the same with a bunch of games. So why is that an issue? Oddworld Industries, CAG, and whatever the name of this company is. It's not a new concept. People do that. Or like companies do that. That's what a startup is.
which means that they have no background and no past games that would justify the pre-order prices. However, the breaking point for many people was that the game didn't even have a release date, or even a release year at the time, which meant that you're investing up to $100 for something that might not come out ever.
And from my perspective as a Star Citizen backer, I can tell you that this is better. Because they're not bullshitting you, and they're not telling you, oh, it's going to be out in like 2 years from now. Because they don't know. It's going to be out when it's out. They started with that, right?
For something that might not come out ever, practically losing your money. You know what else?
I'm not sure that you can lose your money, because if you play, and you guys correct me in the chat, if you pledge on a stream, whatever, if you give the money on Steam, what happens if the game doesn't release? Do you get the money back? Is that how it works?
This is $60
I'm not
for
sure.
the same price as the base game? Elden Ring. Doubts
You can refund,
started
yeah.
to rise as many people called this out to be a
So, what is this guy saying?
losing your money.
I
You
don't
know what
understand.
else is $60 for the same price as the base game? Elden Ring. Doubts started to rise as many people called this out to be a fake footage from a video game that doesn't exist, made by a shadow company with no records just to scam people out of their pre-order money.
I'm not sure what
it's
Game
been like
Pass
that
is.
for a long time until they
But it's on Steam. You can buy it on Steam, as far as I know. Let me see.
dropped more trailers and promo material and so on and so forth. But the initial impression
Yeah, it's
fell
$60
flat.
on Steam.
Now let's talk economics. If you were to buy one and spend $60, where would these $60 go? That is a really good question. To answer it, let's look at what kind of companies signed up to be the investors and publishers for Atomic Heart, basically to be the ones who would be taking the large cut in Atomic Heart's revenue. The investors of the studio are Chinese Tencent and Russian GEM Capital and Gaijin Entertainment. Tencent needs no
Gaijin is one of the worst companies that I have or had any experience with. I was an alpha tester for War Thunder. They banned me on their forums for something that's still happening in the game, and I wasn't being like a dickhead towards them. I was really polite at the time. I'm not anymore. There was like an issue with like planes. You would shoot the guy in front of you, and you would shoot him with like a 45 millimeter cannon or a 75 millimeter cannon. Even with the 20 mils, it would happen. It would happen, but like the rounds would just like bounce off wooden ships, wooden planes, not ships, planes, because Star Citizen, Jesus Christ. So that was like one of the worst issues. Also, you can see through clouds because the propellers are, I think they're still like rendering through the clouds fucking 15 years after alpha, or it's more than 10 years. So I got banned. Also, the game is free to play, but it's like one of the worst pay to wins that I ever played ever. And yeah, like, and then they like started working on 2 other games that were also like pay to win, and they didn't really like those games are not really that popular. I think they're like basically dead by now. I'm just hoping that like War Thunder is gonna die. Gaijin is actually supporting the war. And I can tell you that because they're selling paints for their like World War II tanks and other tanks with like Z on it. I don't know if they're still doing that, but they were doing that. And that was like brought to my attention by some of you guys. So this is a really problematic company, honestly. But let me see what he actually said here.
The investors of the studio are Chinese Tencent and Russian GEM Capital and Gaijin Entertainment. Tencent needs no introduction.
How do you know that, though? How does he know that, though? I can't even fucking find the website of... I'm gonna try to do
licensing technique and hunger over users' data. So let's start with Gaijin Entertainment, which moved from Russia to Hungary in 2022 in order to avoid conflict and continue its activities. The head of the PR, Konstantin Hovorun, illegally visited the Ukrainian Crimea, which is temporarily occupied by Russia, and repeatedly spoke in support of the policies and politics of the Russian Federation. But the most interesting sponsor is GEM Capital. GEM Capital is a Russian fund founded by Anatoly Pali, who previously worked at Gazprom's subsidiary Gazenergoset. The studio raised investments from
Gazprom is a really big company, and it's also a problematic company, even for Serbia. I can tell you this, and this is not confirmed, and it's never going to get confirmed, but I can tell you that our Prime Minister, that got assassinated in 2003, Serbian Prime Minister, Zoran Đinđić. He was against selling our gas industry to the Russians. And it was like one of the things. And he got assassinated because of other stuff, but also there is like a political background to it, but it was never proven. The people who ordered the assassination were the like the last president, Slobodan Milošević, that was in Hague by that time, and his family basically, and his family fled to Russia, which didn't want to give them back to us basically. So they hid in Russia, and what happened a year later after the assassination, Gazprom just swooped in and bought the whole gas industry in Serbia. So Gazprom is Putin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that. Yeah.
The studio raised investments from them in 2021, where Anatoly met and became friends with oligarchs.
But also, I can't fucking confirm any of this because how the fuck does he know that? Look, this is their website. Where should I click to see the sponsors? The investors of the studio are Chinese Tencent in Russian GEM Capital and Gaijin Entertainment. GM Capital is a Russian founded by Anatoly Pali, who previously worked at Gazprom. So he worked there. But also, what is this website? AIN Capital? I have no idea, honestly. It's on their website? Where? Oh, okay. The originality of ideas is I just didn't see it. Is the basis of our philosophy dedicated to originality and remaining unique, blah, 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 blah. This is our DNA. Proudly, we only work with companies that share our ethics. Ooh. and meticulous approach to development and creativity. With our investors, Gaijin Entertainment, GM Capital, Tencent, and our hardware partner NVIDIA, we celebrate Atomic Heart and welcome you to our sci-fi world ecosystem. Okay, let's continue.
Who got rich on oil and gas activity.
They are still
now
just
have
devs,
the
yes. I mean, is NVIDIA partnering with Gazprom now? Like, I don't know.
Opportunity to invest large sums of money in various projects. Namely, the export of gas and oil is one of the main categories of income of the Russian budget, the money from which goes to the military industry. And if you know basic economics,
not only mostly into their pockets, but then into the military, yeah.
And finances, you know that all investments must be returned, including interest.
If all the money went into the military, like, there would be no Europe with Russia. Honestly.
Moreover, a Twitter user found Pelly's connection to other Russian state institutions, such as the sanctioned, systematically important bank VTB. The game attracted as many as 4 publishers: Xbox, 4Divinity, Focus Entertainment, and VK Play. Let's focus on VK Play. It is known to be a gaming division of the former Mail.ru, the same Mail.ru who had Maxim Zatsepin as their former top manager. And again, it is closely connected with the Russian government and participates in many initiatives of the Kremlin. If Atomic Heart is
I think the problem of this guy
money
is that he didn't like show us the proof. We just have like the game in the background and like pictures. So if he actually showed us the proof, I would be more appreciative of that. Jack just said they are just developers, but personally I wouldn't support them. Too bad if it hits them, but in parallel, Ukrainians are dying. Look, I understand that point of view, but what I'm saying is, what I'm being weirded out, and I'm here just to like talk to you guys, because I don't really know if I am. They pay the tax to Putin. Yeah, sure. That is understandable completely. But should you really boycott a game that people worked on? Like, let's say, do you still watch Bill Cosby or Louis C.K. or whatever? Like, for example, we all knew that James Brown was beating up women, but still, like, some of his music are fucking masterpieces, right? If they moved to London and paid tax there, I would buy the game. Well, like, at the beginning, you can see that they actually moved. Even Gaijin moved to Hungary. So what I said just there, like, if you still listen to Michael Jackson, if you still watch Bill Cosby, those are the people that did the crime. Although I'm not sure about Michael Jackson because I never watched the documentary. I just don't want to believe it. Like, I love his music too much, so I'm just like, whatever. But Hungary is a bit problematic also. I mean, Serbia is too. Most of the world is. So yeah. I would 100% boycott game companies that feed my info to state entities without due process. I don't know. That's not like, can you really prove that?
From sanctioned Russian businesses such as VK and Mail.ru, and banks which are systematically important to Russian government such as VTB, profits from the game could be directed to help the Russian government in its invasion. Thus, by buying Atomic Heart, you would pay money to companies that support the aggressive policies and military actions of the Russian Federation. Lastly, there were some incredible terms of service and privacy
with Tencent it was proven, but also
the website now leads to a
I don't know. I don't really know that much about the company, so I can't really comment on that.
But someone managed to capture.
But I mean, you know that Facebook is doing that with like WhatsApp and Instagram, and Google is fucking doing that.
These screenshots. Basically, it says that your information can and will be transferred to the Russian government, in particularly the Federal Security Service.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm not really good with Russian.
Be transferred to the Russian government, in particularly the Federal Security Service. And not just your username, but your full name, physical address, email, phone number, IP address, and so on. Gotta say, their mobilization methods are getting kinda dire. Finally, let's talk about the game itself for a bit.
Come on, dude. Is it really mobilization? Come on.
Phone number, IP address, and so on. Gotta say, their mobilization methods are getting kinda dire. Finally, let's talk about the game itself for a bit.
Okay, before we talk about the game itself, Space, you just said like a thing that I wanted to say. 99% of the Russians are like you and me. I'm not sure about the percentage because I know that like Russia is not really something that, or a country that I would love to live in, because most of them are like most of my people here from Serbia, and I don't like most of the people here, honestly. But what I can tell you is that we have in our community, we have Emerald, and we have a couple of other people that are Russian. And Emerald, for example, you know him, and he fled Russia, even though he was in IT, but he was like somewhat working for the government. It doesn't matter how much you try to like go around it, you're still gonna work for some department of the government, right? Because the government is basically everything in Russia. So he fled the country, and he's like one of the nicest persons, one of the nicest people that I met, honestly. So even if he's 1%, that fucking matters, right? Not like 99% like you said, Space. Like 1% matters.
Set in the USSR in 1955, Atomic Heart's story begins as the Soviet scientist Dmitry Sechenov creates an AI-assisted legion of robots that take control of all manual labor, leaving humans free to live a life of leisure and luxury. The main protagonist is a mentally unstable officer on special assignment.
Jack, I'm not trying to like
E3,
make you buy the game. That's not the point.
To keep the
I'm just like debating with you guys, like
3826 from deteriorating.
Is it really okay to boycott something that doesn't have anything to do with like
and
politics?
Had a major boost in technical.
If so, like why not boycott like US games, because like US fucking invaded Serbia. Well, they didn't really invade us, but they bombed us. Fucking Iraq and all that. Like, why play US games then? Like, do you see my reasoning there?
Progress. The gameplay is centered around fighting.
Why play French games? They were fucking colonizers. Like Belgium, right?
Hordes of various types of enemies, ranging from playing robots to cosmic horror type obscurities. The game is filled to the brim with USSR-themed keepsakes and memorabilia, from drinking...
I mean, you know that like 30% of like... most of the tax money goes into the military in US, so why is that different? Although I would say that in Russia, because like Jack just said, if corporate tax is 30%, it means a third of what I pay is money available to finance war. Yes, it's the same with US. But I can argue that in Russia, most of that money goes into their pockets. Because you know, like, how equipped their military is and all that. They're just, like, sent to Ukraine to die, basically.
Milk straight out of the can, to actual flags and symbols of the USSR, hammer and sickle. This kind of approach to the showcase of USSR and communism walks a thin line between using it for world building and praising it. And there are many solid reasons to believe that this line has been crossed completely right into promoting and idealizing the USSR regime and using it as a tool of USSR and Russian military propaganda. And there have been events to prove this. Take a look at this event that people behind VK organized. It was a special showcase of Atomic Heart for the Russian press, which was stylized in the game's Soviet aesthetics. And they did not go stingy on the decorations, huh? The event included a dinner in a large banquet hall where you could see Soviet-style slogans like "Glory to the Soviet engineers" or "Comrade, join the society of the future." One of the users in Twitter replies said, "Imagine if developers of Wolfenstein had a Nazi-themed party," and I would say that's well said. Sergei Mohov, a remedy...
But look, yeah, this is like a bit weird, but also this is because the game itself is in the communist time, and I guess this was like supposed to be funny, like the blackface from like the Canadian president, I forgot his name. Like to a degree, I'm not trying to advocate for them, but it's understandable that they wanted to do it this way because they didn't know how to do it any other way. But also, I saw a video of some girl. I forgot her name, so I can't really. I'm gonna waste too much time trying to find the video itself. But there was like a woman. There was, yeah, maybe it wasn't Joe Rogan. I'm not sure, but it was a podcast, and she was saying that there's like an award that the American Society of something of like scientists is giving out every year to people. But the award bears the name of a Nazi scientist that like fled to US, made some money, did something, and like it's still there. Like this is such a weird thing. Like if we go back to like 45 and all that, and like I'm not gonna go like Kanye West here because of course fucking communism and fascism and you know my stance on all of that. It's just fucking don't. But this honestly reminds me of that. Like boycotting certain stuff reminds me of that. I'm not saying that it's completely that, but it reminds me of that. But like that's so low of him. This is actually cool. What are we talking about? What I wanted to say is, like, if there weren't for like World War II, unfortunately, I'm gonna go like down the Kanye West route when he was a complete fucking idiot when he said there wouldn't be no microphones if there wasn't for Hitler. Like a fucking Hitler invaded a microphone. That wasn't the case. He didn't do anything of sort. He had engineers that made a compressor that we're using right now. On my podcast or whatever this is on my stream, microphones were made by Graham Bell, so before Hitler and all that. But all the audio, the vinyl, the radio, the tapes, especially the tapes that were used for like music recording for fucking until the 90s, basically, they were all developed in Nazi Germany during the war. Now, I completely forgot why I said this, but yeah, like there were some. Yeah, I said this, but like, what? Like, would you like boycott buying vinyl and listening to radio and all of that? I don't know. It's fucking weird. It's fucking weird not having any tapes because of Nazi Germany. And then you have the guy that like, or the award that bears the name of the
lead gameplay designer,
Nazi guy.
rightfully
I'm gonna try to
accused
find it now.
of being nostalgic about the Soviet regime or even glorifying it. Ironically, the party's date coincided with the adoption of the new anti-LGBT law in Russia, which brings us right back to USSR, I guess. A major point that I want to bring attention to, that there have been numerous well-made games with a Soviet or USSR or low-lie Eastern Europe theme or setting. Let's bring some examples. In Singularity, the Soviet Union discovered a source of element 99 and has special powers that could warp time itself, trying to bring it to the glory days through time travel. If you're in the mood for video games that came out 15 years ago but already played through all the world-famous ones, you should give it a try. In Half-Life 2, the setting of City 17 has not been directly said to be in a specific part of the world, but it's clear that it's been influenced by Eastern Europe's architecture and style. Bulgarian art director Viktor Antonov, the person behind City 17 and Dunwall of Dishonored, mentions his childhood hometown of Sofia as main inspiration for City 17. Other places like Belgrade were also used as reference. In Disco Elysium, the streets of Martinez show what it would be like to live through the failure of an attempted communist revolution. You can still see artillery damage and bullet holes in the walls, notes the lead writer Helen Hinpere. There's this feeling of being
I was trying to find that guy, so I heard that they were talking about Belgrade, but
in the past.
Whatever.
People of Soviet and post-Soviet era are very familiar with this feeling, especially those who live in countries like Moldova or Estonia, which is the homeland of the game's lead designer, Robert Kurvitz. The game takes its own spin of what being a communist entails through its own political vision quest and partially the main quest. I won't spoil it, and I do suggest you try it out yourself. Coming back to Atomic Heart, another point that rubs me the wrong way is the recent marketing strategy. It seems like their marketing team realized that their previous shady strategy has failed to bring in pre-orders, so they went with another plan to make typical capital G gamers buy their game, which is of course none other than through sexualization and objectification of women. So far I have avoided.
The real question is, would you import stuff from Germany in period 39 to 45? Would you buy anything from Hugo Boss because they were the ones that were designing and making the uniforms for the Germans? I don't know. Like, did the people have to boycott it back in like after 45? That like it's so fucking weird, right? Because you know that Hugo Boss, like those are people that are working there. Carl Zeiss also. The makers of the lenses, Carl Zeiss or whatever, they got split by the wall and by like Soviets and US. So they had like two companies, Carl Zeiss and the other one was called, I forgot. But yeah, one of the best lens makers for like cameras and all of that. Should you like, did the people have to boycott them? Like, I don't know.
Avoided showing these characters on screen, but I am talking about the couple of
Volkswagen,
female USSR-styled robots
thank
that
you.
they suddenly
Witness.
added in recent trailers and thumbnails to get the attention of the lusty neckbeards. Just by searching Atomic Heart on YouTube and scrolling far down...
Yeah, I'm talking
it's
about the
impossible
past
to
things. We can talk what's current here. I mean, I already made a point about like buying US games, US products. Because US is also waging war against like most of the fucking world, right? Just like the Russians. But we like the US. I like the US. See, like that's the point.
It's the countless trailers, thumbnails, edits, and shorts about these characters, with some videos claiming that they'll buy the game just for these two.
And in the end, it's just like the developers working on the game, right? US is not abducting foreign children. I mean, are you sure about that?
Also brings in the ongoing issue of sexualizing lesbians in media.
Should I remind you of Trump and his like fence, not a wall, but the fence, and then like separating the Mexicans from their children?
Is marketing like
keeping the
this
children in
highly
fucking
unethical and
crates.
immoral, as we've been fighting with objectifying and sexualizing women.
They're not all the same, but what I'm saying is these guys are not into that shit. These guys, if they wanted to be into war, they would like be a fucking politician. They would be a fucking soldier, whatever. But these guys are game devs. They wanted to make a game, and they made a game, and they want to sell it. They want to share their game with the world. Whether or not the game is good or not, it doesn't matter, right?
Especially in media and advertisements, especially lesbians, but it's also actually illegal. For example, in Ukraine, our parliament adopted a law banning sexism in advertising, which became active in January 2022. Elected officials have banned showing the superiority of one gender over another in physical, intellectual, or social aspect, showing stereotypical roles of men and women, gender-based violence, as well as the human body as a sexual object. In simpler terms, it's just gross and cheap. And
all right, here's a question for you, Jack. Do you have a phone? You have a phone, right? Is it an iPhone? Does it have a lithium ion battery? I'm not saying I'm right. It's a question of personal values. Yes, but like, where do you draw the line? Everyone can draw the line where he wants. That's what it's. Yeah, Congo, Serbia was gonna be one of the lithium. What is the mines? I guess mines. So we managed to like delay it a bit. They're not out yet, but we delayed them a bit. But if you go like to where was it? They like destroyed like some what are they called? Fucking old graveyards of like aborigines. I'm not sure. Like the same company. The company is called. I'm gonna remember. Let's continue.
What pains me to say is that it seems to be working. These YouTube shorts and edits are getting millions of views, quickly becoming favorite among the fans, who quickly started to spread rumors about a possible 6
Yeah, they're called Rio Tinto. Yeah. So the issue is like, where do you draw the line? Do you know that like Mercedes and Volkswagen and all of that, they are like making most of their parts are made in like Bosnia, Macedonia, Serbia, etc. because it's cheap here, it's cheap labor, and it's cheaper to like get it from here, BMW also, to get it from here to Germany to like assemble, than to like make it in India and assemble in Germany. So they're keeping us, Serbia, Bosnia, etc., on the down low. Like we are basically third world countries, not only because of them, but it suits them. It suits them. They can prosper from us being the third world country that we are right now. They're not really helping us, right? They know about the state of the things here, the state of affairs here, and how our politicians are, and how money just fucking disappears here, right? So, do they do anything about it? They don't. Can they do anything about it? Well, you can argue that they can't, but they also can, because they helped with Slobodan Milosevic. EU helped, US helped, Russian didn't. So we got rid of them. We got some new people, and they're fucking the same, basically.
Sex scene in the video game. It's so wrong on so many levels. In conclusion, what can you do to support Ukraine on this matter? If you did purchase a pre-order of Atomic Heart, the first and the best step would be to cancel it, request a refund, and send that exact amount of money to Ukrainian charities. The second part is admirable, but not necessary. Simply canceling the pre-order is fine, and let's be honest, in this day and age, you shouldn't be buying pre-orders anyway. If you want to go a step further, you can do the following. You can go to the game's shop page, click on the complaint flag, select the item breach of the law, contains materials that violate the laws of your country, and write a similar text or something on that matter. In case you didn't know, Ukraine has implemented a law that restricts and bans all Soviet and USSR propaganda, symbols, and memorabilia. We had quite enough of that. If you simply want to stand
politics
aside
and gaming,
and be an innocent bystander, there is a way as well. When the game comes out on February 21st, simply play a different game. It's that easy. Don't wishlist Atomic Heart, don't buy it, and go play something like Disco Elysium instead. You should wishlist Stalker 2 though. Some users could make a claim that they could simply pirate it and pay no money to the Russian devs and still enjoy the game. To that, I can't say anything at that.
Is it made by Ukrainians?
At that point, it depends only on your moral compass. If you feel comfortable playing the game after watching this video till the end, I've done all in my power and I can't control your wallet, so I can't stop you from pirating this game. It's just up to your morals and ideals.
But what about, like, if I want to play both games? I want to play Stalker 2. I want to play fucking Atomic Heart. I want the war to fucking end. I wanted it to end immediately when it started, before it fucking began. So, yeah.
At this point. In the description, I'll be sending the links to all of the articles used for this video. Whether to check it is up to you.
Try to pirate Atomic Heart. That's the same thing that they said about Hogwarts.
I want to give a shout out to Dirty Wall for helping a lot with the research part for this video, including tweets and articles. And this is why you shouldn't buy Atomic Heart. Misleading marketing, shady pre-orders, USSR glorification, and direct financial gain to Russia's military. I know that this is not a usual video I would make, but I had to spread awareness regarding this delicate matter. I know that this video might attract some enlightened centrist contrarians who will buy the game either way, and those I shall rightfully ignore. Have a good day, y'all.
Look, like, I empathize with the guy. I really do. As I said, I'm like... I grew up in, like, the 90s in Serbia, so I know a bit more than I would like to know about war, but also, I don't know, let me share this to you guys. I don't know, like, in the end, tell me what you think, guys. Like, for me, there is no place for politics in the gaming industry. That's like my 2 cents. And he argued that this has a lot to do with politics. It's not, it's just like an alternate universe, so I don't really understand that point, but yeah. I'll wait for Kerbals Space Program 2. Yeah, he's gonna boycott Atomic Heart. Gaming is escape from reality, yeah. Like, if you want to escape into like a communist alt universe, where you fight robots, that's up to you, dude. Like, I understand, Jack, everything that you said. It's up to everyone. Look, as I've said, my biggest gripe with this is not even Gazprom, honestly, even though it heavily affected Serbia. It's Gaijin, because it heavily affected gaming and War Thunder. Because, like, if you're gonna release skins like Z paints for your tanks in War Thunder in your game, that's a serious fucking political statement, and I am gonna boycott you. Like, I am boycotting Gaijin. I started that like way before that happened. But also, these guys are just sponsored by them, so I don't fucking know, honestly. Yeah, I won't go out telling other people what to do. Of course, like, other people can like decide for themselves. But as I said, like, if you don't want to support Russian developers, sure. But why are you supporting US developers? Right? It's a weird one. If the devs came out and said or took a stance, then I get it. But because they found investors that are questionable is very gray and not enough in my book. Yeah, that's problematic. But also, who else is going to invest, right? That's why I talked about like the music scene or any scene in Serbia. Like, you need to have criminals because they have money, and that's how it works. Like, you can't... What's up, Chrislin? You can't really, like, make actual money here if you're not, like, actual money, right? Like, not thousands per month, but, like, actual money. And have an actual project. I can tell you this. I was supposed to work on a game. I fucking forgot what it's called. Let me try to find it. So the game was... made by the Serbian developers, a new team, whatever. My good friend was, well, we were friends back then. He was supposed to work on like audio, like sound design, and they wanted to hire me through him because he knew me to do like music. If somebody can beat me to it, that would be fucking amazing. It's like a space game that was made here in Serbia, and it was like a first-person shooter, basically. Yeah, I can't find it. But the story goes like this. So they started working on the game. They had like some investors, something, it doesn't really matter. They were like a small studio, blah, blah, blah. At some point, they were trying to expand, and they had some Russian investors. And they made a demo. I wanted to show you the demo because most of my ideas were used in the demo, like sound wise. I didn't work on it in the end because one of the reasons is that the thing that I'm going to talk about happened already. But also they didn't call me in earlier because they hired another guy that was a friend of the lead dev, right? Because nepotism is like the main thing in Serbia, one of the main things, right? So what happened is that our government saw that there was some money to be made in that studio, and what they did is they posed as some kinds of like investors, and then they made the studio take a few of their guys that had nothing to do with fucking game dev, and one of them in the end managed to like replace the lead dev, and now he's the lead dev. I think the company is actually dead because like they did the demo, the like a YouTube video basically, and like a month before the demo was supposed to be released to the Steam, they started like changing everything. Like the new lead dev started changing everything, and he is one of the guys from the party that's the leading party here, or the government basically. So the game basically died because of that. War is not about military. In the end, war are won and lost on economic fronts. Military is just a tool for wars. Yeah, I completely agree with that. But also, game development. I don't know. It's like a thin line.